All right. Let's take a deep breath. Grateful for technology, grateful for the ability to pivot, grateful for presence. Yes. Beautiful. So, this week, we have the opportunity to honor the birth and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He served as a representation of a cultural movement towards equality and justice for all. And though King's impact is now honored and revered, at his time he was obviously very controversial and met with quite a bit of resistance. And this shows us that although change and growth is not only necessary, but is gonna happen. I was like, probable, possible, no, inevitable, that's the word. That although change is inevitable, it doesn't come without its challenges and those growing edges, which we experience not only as a collective, but we experience in our own life when we bump up against challenging the status quo. And so I want to start with these words by Dr. King. I feel like getting a little bit closer to you all.
Yeah.
When he said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. And if this isn't more pertinent than where we are today, I don't know what is. It is the opportunity for all of us to stand in our inherent sovereignty and power. Understanding that there is a trajectory of life that is ever expanding, ever growing, ever spiraling upwards. And it is the opportunity to lean even deeper into our spiritual practices and understanding of life when the circumstances of the world seem to appear other than that which we desire. Yes. So tomorrow, not only do we honor Martin Luther King Jr., it is also the inauguration, I can't really say that word, day. And for many, it is bringing up fear and concern about the state of our country and our world, our democracy, our individual rights and freedoms. So it is imperative that we come together and lean even more into our own understanding of this thing called life, of our inherent power, our purpose, and remember that we have agency, and the creative power of life lives within us. And what we see in the world around us is an expression of our collective consciousness. We are always at choice. And though it may seem that circumstances in the world may be taking away something from us, we must remember to turn within to that place that can never be hurt, harmed, or hindered. To that place of stillness that is love. As they just sung about, right? Love is all you need. And it may be hard to remember to lean into love in the face of fear, in the face of power over and control and such divisiveness. But when we remember who we are and the love that we are and surrender to that, letting go of those judgments and fears, we can stand in our power and come together as a collective and create that shift, allowing for the evolution of our collective consciousness to grow and to expand. We are creative beings shaping our experience of reality with the power of our thoughts and our beliefs and our intentions. We get to co-create with spirit, the very power of life, the thing itself, which is the very essence of who we are. And this isn't just an abstract idea, it's the foundation of how spiritual law works in, as, and through us. So the question isn't, are we using this power? Because the power is always there and it is always responding to us. But as I posed last week, the question is, how consciously are you engaging with the law of life? How consciously are you engaging with your thoughts and beliefs and reflecting with that sense of awareness on what is occurring? So this month, we're diving into the basics of the Science of Mind teaching, those first 4 sections called the thing itself, which is God, spirit, life, right? The way it works, which is, let's see who remembers last week. How does it work?
Through us.
Yes. And what it does and how to use it. So today we're looking at what it does. Well, it flows, as our talk title says. It flows through us, and it always says yes. According to Holmes, it must pass through our consciousness to operate for us. We can only receive as much good as we are willing to receive. So when we're truly aware of how this law is working in our lives, we can begin to see its influence. The impact, the effect, right? Cause and effect. And our teaching encourages us to focus on the cause, first cause, our thoughts, where our mind is at. Because that is going to demonstrate in our perception of reality. If we are rooted in love and possibility, we are open to see more love and possibility in whatever the circumstances may be. And sometimes there can be a disconnect, right? Sometimes we can swing one way or the other by either not wanting to take responsibility at all and feeling like a victim to life, and whatever's happening out there, we have no ability to control. Or we can also use this principle in the other way to spiritually bypass, right? To say, well, it's all good, but not really feel our feelings about it. So the nuance is to stand in the awareness of what's occurring from a place of power, to witness the condition from a place of wholeness and love, and to know that that is temporary. It is not the truth of who we are. It is not the truth of our humanity. And to come back as we witness anything unlike that which we desire, or unlike that of the truth, to come back to our spiritual practices through a simple breath, prayer, spiritual mind treatment, meditation, contemplation, sacred study, visioning, affirmations, using these tools that we teach and talk about regularly to come back to the truth that no matter what is happening out there, we can remember who we are, and that we have, as a vibratory being, we're not static, right? We're always moving, and we are vibration, that our very willingness to engage with thoughts of love and possibility create a different type of vibration within our body and our awareness and our consciousness, which ripples out and affects the world. You've seen the studies. We come together, people with one intention, to meditate on peace, crime goes down. So what would it be like, instead of just thinking there's nothing I can do, or it's all good, I'm just going to ignore it, to meet the circumstances of life, to meet this opportunity with the fullness and the allness and the truth of who we are. With intention. To show up tomorrow to life, holding the vibration of love and only love, of possibility, of a willingness, as we say, to be curious. What is there to be known? What is mine to do? How is this for me or for us? Spirit, show me where I can see and know more love. It's so easy to judge, and the world gives us plenty of opportunities to judge. But standing in our own righteousness does nothing but make us feel righteous for a moment. But it doesn't heal, it doesn't connect, and it doesn't allow us to grow. And what I find is when we come together at Ahava, we're all different, we're all unique, we have different perspectives and opinions, and it's all welcome. Because we can hold a conversation, not agree, but still see the beloved in front of us. So that is the opportunity we have to walk in the world that way. We practice at Ahava, it's a safe and loving space, but to take that into the world, into our family and our community and other places that we are in community with, places where perhaps we have influence, and we have influence basically anywhere you are, because you can choose how to show up, and you can choose to allow your vibration and your intention to inform the energy around you instead of the other way around, right? Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says, we cannot be born of the Spirit unless we do the will of the Spirit. And the will of the Spirit is goodness, peace, mercy, justice, and truth. It is a conscious union with God. So the law of mind and creation is available and accessible to all. As I said last week, the law, Spirit, God, life, doesn't play favorites. It's not going to say, I will grant your prayer, but not yours, like some magic fairy that has opinions and judgments and hands out wishes. In fact, the law, that aspect of life, is always simply responding to our thoughts and our energy and our vibration and our intention. And then showing us cause and effect, cause and effect. And what we see on a global level is the outpicturing of that collectively. So let's look at this more individually first. The invitation is to understand this truth more consciously and to start to notice how cause and effect shows up in your life and those around you. So I invite you to start to observe people in your life, people that you know, that you feel are successful, happy, content, fulfilled, really like doing something in life that you admire. And get curious and notice, perhaps if it's someone you know, have a conversation with them, spend some time with them, and really see what is their attitude, their pervasive overall attitude about themselves in life. What about yourself? What is your pervasive attitude? When something happens, do you go to, why? Or do you get curious? Or do you take a moment of, and then breathe, okay. That's usually me. Consider those also that you see frequently struggle, who are often upset, unhappy. What is their general attitude towards themselves and the world? Mm-hmm. You could see it on social media, right? Like start to look at certain people's threads, and if they're posting and saying the same kind of thing, and then it's one after another, complaint, this happened, I can't believe all these things always happen to me, kind of a thing, right? We start to see how the general attitude begins to reflect. And this isn't a judgment game. It seems like it could very easily go there, right? We can be like, well, they're happy and they're good, and they're unhappy, so they think bad thoughts and they're bad, and I had woke up in a bad mood, and now this and that and the other, I stubbed my toe, I must be bad. That's not what we're talking about here, y'all. We're moving beyond that simple thinking, and we are talking about the greater scheme of life, of the general tendency of our thoughts and beliefs. Our ability to be resilient, to be curious in the face of struggle, and to choose and choose again to focus on possibility and truth and love and wholeness. To not shame ourselves, blame ourselves, judge or shame others, but simply to observe, to be that neutral observer of life, like a scientist that observes an experiment. They're not thinking, oh, if this particle jumps over here, that's good, and if it goes here, that's bad. They're just noticing what's happening. What can we do to start to remove some of those judgments and start to just simply observe our life and those around us, so that we can notice the thoughts, the feelings, the habits and practices in our own lives that lead towards certain experiences, and those that perhaps lead towards other experiences. And then we can feel what makes us feel alive and what makes us feel and choose more of those things that make us feel alive. It's a simple formula, but I'm not saying it's a simple thing to do. It takes every day recommitting to a conscious life. Because the way it works is through us. The law is always responding to us, our thoughts, our beliefs, and we must be conscious in order to choose and to lean into possibility thinking instead of problems. The law operates by bringing forth the most dominant thought into expression. So reflect whether your most dominant thought is constructive or destructive. Are we consciously choosing to direct our thoughts towards growth and good? Global transformation, how? Through personal evolution. So by doing our own spiritual work, by sitting in meditation, by reading things that uplift us, by being willing to get curious about our default patterns and beliefs, we began to set the law in motion towards the trajectory of which we desire. And I guarantee you, Martin Luther King struggled on the face of everything he was going for, as society was not collectively at that vision yet of equality and justice and peace and love for all, that he wasn't some kind of magical, like he didn't have some magical power to ignore all of that. But he moved forward anyway with the vision and the hope, and he stood up there in the face of threats and said what needed to be said to create a movement till there can be that tipping point to bring people together through the marches and the speeches, so that becomes the dominant resonant energy. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter politically, wherever you are tomorrow, I encourage you to stand in the power of love, not get caught up in story, and to hold possibility even in the face of fear and doubt and voices that may be loudly sharing a vision that is different than that which matches your values. You have the power to loudly share your vision of love as well. So we have the opportunity for those who want to come together tomorrow night. We're going to be gathering at 6 o'clock, and then there's an event I'll tell you more about shortly after that. At 7, that we are going to be live streaming and joining virtually as a host location with Dr. William Barber and Dr. Yvette Flonder and others from the Poor People's Campaign and TFAM that are coming together for holding the vision and speaking to justice and love and truth. CSL is partnered with United Church of Christ and other organizations for this event. Our own beloved Dr. Sunny will be there as well, and we will be gathering here and tuning in and watching, so we can create that resonant energy field of a collective coming together for something, right? Not against something, but what are we for? And to remember that the law is always saying yes. So let us tune in to the possibility. It's like the radio frequency. You wake up in the morning, what are you tuning into? The frequency of doubt and love and fear and judgment, or are you going to tune that dial to the frequency of possibility and love? And then that's the world you walk in. The law is always in motion. How is it moving through you, your words, and your actions? Can you start to connect the dots between your present experience and the sum of your beliefs and thoughts? Not in a way of shame or judgment, right? As an opportunity to get curious and to remember, oh yeah, stay focused. Right? Just like we have to keep moving our physical body, stretching, growing, our mind too, and our consciousness takes that focused practice to stay in our intention. It demands patience and focus, but it is achievable. So trust in your ability to notice, to be aware, and to choose love and kindness. And to awaken to your own inner power and strength and wholeness. To be a catalyst for good and change in your life and in the world. Are y'all interested in that?
Mm-hmm.
You ready to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can do this, y'all. Let's pray about it. Taking a deep breath. Let's just settle into our bodies. Taking a moment to notice right where you are. Any sensations in the body. Getting grounded, getting connected. And then begin to allow the generative power of love to radiate from your heart, from your center, throughout your entire being. As we all together focus collectively now on the power of love, of joy, of freedom, of possibility. Knowing that there is one life that is love, that is joy, that is pure potentiality. It exists in, as, and through all of life. It is who we are. So right here, right now, I know that love and wholeness and freedom and peace is activated in every aspect of my being. And I know that this is true for each and every person hearing the sound of my voice. So we take this moment to tune in, tap in, to align intentionally with the divine presence of life that is freedom, that is wholeness, that is love. And from this place of oneness, I speak this word now, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly in my life, in this community called Ahava, in the greater organization and community called Centers for Spiritual Living, in our beloved state of Kentucky and in the United States of America and beyond. This one life as love is demonstrating through each and every individual. So we have the opportunity this day to choose love, to choose peace, to choose freedom, and to remain awake and aware and to stay curious at each and every opportunity we have to remember this truth, to show up as love, and to be that highest vibration in whatever space we are in, to lift and lift and lift the vibration to that of the pure resonance of love and wholeness and freedom and peace for all. Knowing that the law always says yes, it is always responding to us how good it is to recognize that we have the power to choose and to allow as much good as we are willing to perceive to show up in our lives and in our community, in our state, our country, our world, our planet. All you need is love. So let us choose love this day and every day, this moment and every moment. I'm so grateful to know that this word goes out and multiplies. As the law says, yes, my beloved, it is done, it is so, it is fulfilled. And for that I'm grateful. And I release this word and let it be. Together we say,
So it is.
So it is.